Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the iconic goalkeeper of FC Barcelona, finds himself at the center of a storm shaking the world of football. Picture this: a player, a captain, refusing to sign his own medical report. It's unprecedented and raises questions that go far beyond the realm of sports. Ter Stegen, this German giant, this impenetrable wall in front of Barca's goal, is now in the spotlight for reasons unrelated to his spectacular saves or decisive stops. Yet, just a few weeks ago, ter Stegen seemed serene, almost carefree, announcing a 3-month convalescence period himself. A personal statement released an hour before the club's, as if to mark his territory and assert his independence. But today, the wind has changed. Ter Stegen is refusing to make his medical report public, a gesture that, according to many, hides a lot of unspoken truths. Is he afraid of revealing his true health condition? Is this a strategy to pressure the club, to obtain guarantees and assurances? Rumors and speculations abound. FC Barcelona, this global football giant, finds itself in a delicate, even embarrassing situation. The club, accustomed to managing crises with a certain elegance, is now forced to take disciplinary measures against its own captain. An absurd, almost surreal situation that leaves Barca supporters in a state of astonishment and incomprehension. Ter Stegen, this hero of Champions League nights, this goalkeeper who has given so much to the club, now seems ready to do anything to defend his interests, even at the risk of alienating part of his fanbase. Ter Stegen's teammates, these gladiators of the pitch who share with him the joys and sorrows of high-level football, also find themselves in an uncomfortable position. They have all, in unison, expressed their support for their captain, refusing to let him fall in this ordeal. A touching, almost moving solidarity that shows the strength of the Barcelona collective. But this solidarity, as noble as it is, must not overshadow the real stakes of this crisis. Ter Stegen, by refusing to sign his medical report, puts the club in a delicate, even dangerous situation. The wildest rumors are circulating on social media, in the press, in the cafes of Barcelona. Some talk of secret clauses, unpaid bonuses, unfulfilled contracts. Others mention internal tensions, rivalries, jealousies. But beyond the rumors and speculations, one question remains: what does Ter Stegen really want? Does he simply want to protect his private life, his medical privacy? Does he want to pressure the club to obtain advantages, guarantees? Or is there something else, something deeper and darker, hidden behind this refusal to sign? FC Barcelona, for its part, seems determined not to yield to its captain's whims. The club, strong in its history, its greatness, its prestige, seems ready to go all the way in this crisis, even if it means taking disciplinary action. A delicate, almost explosive situation that could have dramatic consequences for the club, for Ter Stegen, and for the entire world of football. Barca supporters are divided. Some support their captain, seeing in him a symbol of resistance, rebellion against a system they deem unfair and inhuman. Others, however, are more critical, more severe, believing that Ter Stegen, by refusing to sign his medical report, is betraying the club's values and those of football. A division, a fracture that shows the complexity of this crisis and the difficulty in finding a way out, a solution. In this context of tension, crisis, and division, a glimmer of hope seems to emerge. Barca, this global football giant, seems ready to reopen its stadium, the Camp Nou, to 30,000 spectators for the upcoming matches. A symbolic, almost historic decision that shows the club's determination to turn the page, to look to the future, to project itself into a better, more serene, and more peaceful future. But this decision, as symbolic as it is, must not overshadow the real stakes of this crisis. Ter Stegen, this iconic goalkeeper, this respected captain, seems ready to do anything to defend his interests, even at the risk of alienating part of his fanbase and supporters. A delicate, almost explosive situation that could have dramatic consequences for the club, for Ter Stegen, and for the entire world of football. In this storm, in this crisis that shakes the very foundations of FC Barcelona, one question remains, nagging and obsessive. What does Marc-Andre ter Stegen really want? Is it simply a matter of protecting his private life, his medical privacy, that secret garden that everyone seeks to preserve in a world where everything is exposed, dissected, and analyzed? Ter Stegen, this goalkeeper, this last bastion, this hero of Champions League nights, did he simply want to keep to himself the details of his health, his injuries, his weaknesses? Is it this need for confidentiality, this desire for discretion, that drove him to refuse to sign this medical report, this document that would have revealed to the world the secrets of his body, his pains, his sufferings? Or is there something else, something deeper, darker, more troubling, hidden behind this refusal to sign? Ter Stegen, this respected captain, this charismatic leader, this symbol of resistance, did he want to put pressure on the club, on this centuries-old institution, to obtain advantages, guarantees, assurances? Did he want to mark his territory, assert his power, show that he was still the master of the place, the guardian of the goals, the protector of the nets? Did he want to remind the club, its leaders, its supporters, that he was still there, still present, still indispensable, despite the injuries, the doubts, the criticisms? Or perhaps, and this is perhaps the most disturbing hypothesis, did Ter Stegen want to send a message, a signal, a sign, to those who doubted him, to those who criticized him, to those who questioned him? Did he want to show that he was still the boss, the chief, the leader, despite the trials, the storms, the turmoils? Did he want to remind everyone that FC Barcelona, this global football giant, this mythical club, this symbol of greatness, was still his club, his team, his story, his legacy? One thing is certain, in any case. This crisis, this storm, this turmoil, shows all the complexity of the world of football, this sport which, despite appearances, is not just a simple game, a simple entertainment, a simple spectacle. Football, this sport that captivates the crowds, that makes the stadiums vibrate, that makes the supporters dream, is also a world of power, money, ambitions, rivalries, conflicts. A world where individual interests and collective interests clash, confront, and collide. A world where personal ambitions and group ambitions collide, crash, and clash. This crisis, this storm, this turmoil, is a lesson in life, a lesson in humility, a lesson in greatness and pettiness. A lesson that reminds us that football, this sport that makes us dream so much, that makes us vibrate so much, that makes us live so much, is also a world of complexity, difficulty, and suffering. A world where the heroes of yesterday can become the scapegoats of tomorrow. A world where the glories of yesterday can be forgotten, despised, rejected. But despite everything, despite the storms, the turmoils, the crises, football continues to make us dream, to make us vibrate, to make us live. Because football, this sport that we are so passionate about, that makes us vibrate so much, that makes us live so much, is also a world of beauty, grace, and greatness. A world where the heroes, the real heroes, those who give their all on the field, those who fight for their colors, those who defend their goals with determination, are always there, always present, always indomitable. And Ter Stegen, this goalkeeper, this last bastion, this hero of Champions League nights, is one of those heroes. A hero who, despite the storms, the turmoils, the crises, continues to make us dream, to make us vibrate, to make us live. A hero who, despite the doubts, the criticisms, the attacks, remains standing, remains strong, remains indomitable. A hero who, despite everything, continues to believe in his club, his team, his story, his legacy. A hero who, despite everything, continues to make us dream, to make us vibrate, to make us live.